And after a long time, hello guys, welcome back to another reaction video and thoughts here on Our Eyes Your Eyes. I decided to come back with a story that it's simply amazing that it's called Vinland Saga. In fact, I'm going to start the second season and I'm pretty late because actually Vinland Saga season 2 came out last year in January. In these last months, so many things happened, so that's why you were not able to see me. And I could at least upload all the videos left. So I'm relieved now because I don't have previous videos to post. And from now on, everything starts from zero. So I'm really happy for that. I don't like to leave things behind. So it's really great for me to be back with this amazing story because you know how much I love Vinland Saga. And you also love Vinland Saga. So for this reason, it's better for you to keep subscribing to the channel and click on the notification bell because after Vinland Saga I'm going to watch many other stories, so feel free to watch me and my reactions and my thoughts. Okay, season 1 finished in one of the most brilliant ways from my point of view, and that's why I can't wait to see how Thorfinn is going to react to his new life, because after Askelado or Askelad, whatever, you know that after he left Thorfinn, because he died, Thorfinn now needs something new into his life. He needs to start a new chapter of his life, and he didn't predict something like this happening to him. I mean, he was supposed to kill Askelado or Askelad or whatever, but things went in a different way. So now he needs to find a new way to restart. He needs to find another important thing to grab, to follow, to discover. And I think that the most important thing he needs to do is to try to find Vinland. That it's one of the main goals of his father, Thor's. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm starting right now. I can't wait because I skipped this story for such a long time and it was quite hard, let me tell you. I'm ready. So are you ready? It's time to follow me in this, so let's watch it together. Well, it seems, yes, I mean, this language seems really Nordic. Oh no. Is this a Danish language? No? Okay. But that's the man we saw at the end of season 1. Einar. Yes, Einar is exactly that man, I think. Yeah, tell us, where are we here? I wanna know. So it's England. I think, he reminds me of Thorfinn somehow. At least Einar took care of his family, while Thorfinn, we know that he preferred to take this revengeful path. That's so beautiful, the context, I mean. No, don't tell me. Oh no! How is it possible to not think? Let's hope that they can make it, right? I mean, they already lost their father. If Einar loses both of them, I think that... Keep running. Oh no, F way. No, keep running. I know it's something crazy to say, but... I will never be able to do that, no. I understand him. Oh no, no, no. Mom. We know how Vikings are terrible about these kind of things. It definitely reminds me of a Shingeki no Kyojin. We already start in this painful way. Look, I'm not ready, okay? Don't touch her. No, please don't. Oh no. Oh yes, good job, Lotta. Oh my. I had the feeling that Einar was about to lose both. I don't know if Einar can understand Thorfinn now about how he felt, or is he going to take another path? I mean, is he going to be revengeful too? But I feel his pain. Absolutely. As much as I felt Thorfinn's pain, I can feel his pain too. Oh, wow. That's pure anger. I mean, and this is part of the trailer. Now we understand. So Einar and all the other survivors could make it. I mean, they could go away from there. I know they were captured. They were yes, okay. No, I got that. They were transformed into slaves. I thought they could run away somehow, but what the heck? But actually, oh, this is so crude. I feel so sorry for Einar. And he's against. I mean, he's against the Vikings, so he will be against the Thorfinn at this point somehow. Go, go. He made it. Hang in there and try. Wow. Okay, I will tell you later. Oh no, but he's a master. I mean, he couldn't make it. No, keep trying. It's easy to say and difficult to do, but don't stop trying. Oh my. And this is different from Thorfinn. Leif! Leif, right? This has to be Leif. Please. Yes! Leif, save him. Save him. I think he reminds him of Thorfinn. Ah, no, because he's looking for Thorfinn. Please save his life. I know, but save him, you know? Yes. Maybe he knows Thorfinn already. No. No, Leif, come back, please. Yes, you don't even know how much he's searching for him. But you... And Thorfinn is lucky. Yes. He still has a mom and a sister. Someone... Mamma mia. Can you imagine now he will see the panorama? Uh, wow. This reminds me of Vinland, sincerely, the first time we saw Vinland with the crops and everything. And that's reminding him of his place. No, you haven't lost yet. I don't think so. You can win something else, even if it's hard to say, but life is unpredictable. But you can regain something else. Oh my! Don't tell me Thorfinn is going to be his master. Yes, yes, that's a him, okay? Oh, come on. there's a way to change here. I still have a hope. You need to know that, as I told you, in these previous months, in these last months, lots of things have happened to me. And I have to tell you from now on that I definitely became more sensitive than what I was before. So I think that that's why everything makes me cry more and feel more emotional than before. I think Vinland Saga was already super emotional in the first season. We saw lots of moments of this courage of Thorfinn. We saw his path, a revengeful path that he decided to take once Thor's died. And I think this second season will be the light in darkness. Will be the way for Thorfinn to find something new, to find a new goal in life, and to step away from what he was living before. The reason why I say this is because when this master called for Thorfinn, and I have to say that even in Vinland Saga, many references are symbolic. You see that when Thorfinn is called, he is deep inside the forest. And it's pretty dark, it's pitch dark over there. But when he comes out from the forest, he finally can see light. And it seems that Thorfinn has always been in that place, inside this forest, that it's a metaphor of something dark, of something that takes you down, that takes you to the bottom of the bottoms, let's say. But when he came out and he saw Einar, I think that this meeting will be precious for Thorfinn. And as much as you can see this detachment from darkness and try to come out and see something new, for both of them, from Thorfinn's point of view and from Einar's point of view, it's a new beginning. It's something that makes their lives different. They still don't know that, but it will start as a change, as a turning point from both of their opinions, from both of their views and from both lives. This will be a new beginning. They don't know yet. Yeah, as I told you, you can't understand things from the beginning. It needs time for you to acquire experience and to understand the meaning of that specific event or that specific moment in your life. That's what's happening actually to both of them. From Thorfinn's point of view, he's finding a new person. He's finding someone he doesn't know. He doesn't know his life. He doesn't know what he was taken away from. He doesn't know Einar. And Einar doesn't know Thorfinn. He only knows his name because of Leif. Because Leif met Einar, and this old man was searching for a young man called Thorfinn. Everything is connected. Did you see? The beauty of this story is this, that everything makes sense. But as Askelad, whatever, was saying in season 1, you will understand things thanks to time. You need time to process things and to understand their meaning. When you're too irrational, when you're too impulsive, you act but you don't understand. You don't use reason. And that's why for Thorfinn and even for Einar, it will take time for them to process their loss and to understand how to restart again. But let's say that from some point of view, Thorfinn and Einar, they have many things in common. And from other points of view, they have different things. They have different experiences and different ways of thinking. So maybe one can inspire the other one and vice versa. I really hope Einar can inspire Thorfinn to keep going on living, because he keeps saying, Einar, from the moment in which he lost his mother and his sister, he keeps saying, I want to go on living. I need to go on and live. The things that Einar and Thorfinn have in common is that they lost a father. And they lost a father because of Vikings. But what is different is what they did after. While Thorfinn decided to join Askeladd to get his revenge for his father's death, Einar didn't want to get his revenge and preferred to stay along with his mom and his sister. To become the man of the family and to pursue this goal that his father had to maintain their land, to keep cultivating things, to take care of his mother and his sister. To not get rid of his family just because he had to avenge his father. Thorfinn decided to do the opposite. He decided to pursue his goal, to avenge his father, forgetting for a second about his mother and his sister, forgetting about what was left. And actually, for Einar, what was left was an enjoyable family, even if sometimes it was not so easy to handle mom and sister. But you see, that was the typical family that was struggling going ahead, no matter the difficulties. And even if sometimes they were bothering Einar, at the end of the day, Einar now would like to go back to those moments in which he could live those enjoyable moments. He couldn't perceive them as enjoyable moments, because when you live things, you don't pay attention, the right attention that you should pay. And you pay attention on those moments when it's too late, when you can't go back and have this second chance or third chance or multiple chances. So as soon as Einar is losing his mother and his sister in that instant way, Einar lost everything. Lost his house, lost his land, lost his family. He found himself completely empty, completely full of this anger. That even in this episode you see that the anger is transformed in these huge waves during a storm, and they are so dark, and even what's inside Einar, his pain can be seen as something really, really dark, something that you can't even explain, because when something is dark you can't even describe it. Nothing has a meaning in darkness. Nothing has an explanation in darkness, right? It's like as if his mind was completely blurred. He keeps struggling anyway to survive. And this has something in common with Thorfinn's experience, because when he is by himself, even if he doesn't join Askeladd from the beginning, but he is following where they are going, he finds, even Thorfinn finds himself inside this forest, and he's trying to struggle to find something to eat. He is trying to move forward into his project, that means to kill Askeladd. Einar, on the other hand, he's becoming a slave, and he's trying to escape from this reality because he doesn't want to be a slave of someone else. He wants to be free. But at the end of the day, when we reach the end of this episode, while his mother was struggling to tell him to run away in order to be free, at the end, Einar says, "Look, Mom, I don't think that I will be free again, because no matter if I live or if I die, I will never find that feelings back again. I will never be able to go back to the vision that I had in front of my eyes, that it's still in my mind, but it can't be reproduced into reality anymore. For the fact that he can't recreate that setting anymore, that peaceful setting, he finds himself chained, and there's nothing that can reproduce that vision anymore, so he can't be free anymore. I really liked even the similarity with the first episode of Vinland Saga, season 1, when you see these crops and this beautiful landscape at the beginning. At that time you could see Vinland, the image of Vinland. In this first episode of season 2 you see the landscape of Einar's background story. Maybe for Einar that was Vinland. I mean, that was the peaceful place after those long years of wars against the Danish people, thanks also to the Vikings' cooperation, but they could find these peaceful years, and for him I really believe that that was Vinland, where nothing is happening, where there's no slave. You remember the definition of Vinland, right? That is this land where nobody can let you become a slave and you are free to live in peace, right? At the beginning of this episode, that was his Vinland, but this Vinland was taken away from him in the moment in which the Vikings were coming and destroy everything. They were not only destroying his land, but they were destroying even his concept of a family, this concept of unification between people, this way to communicate with others, because Einar, after that moment, he can't communicate with others anymore, even if he is surrounded by people who have had the same experience as he had, that means other slaves. He can't feel anything so that he can communicate with these people. He feels sorry even for that woman that he is left behind and she's thrown back into the sea, even if she was still alive. But look, he can understand how crude, how bastard life can be, especially in moments like those in which you see that these people called Vikings, they don't have any sort of empathy, they don't have any sort of sensitiveness and kindness, but they are just like beasts. To get in touch with lands and gain them without even talking, without even make any sort of compromise or nor anything. They rape people, especially of course women and girls, and Einar found himself impotent because he couldn't do anything to save his sister, and even if his sister rebelled, then she was killed in an instant. So we think sometimes that we are powerful to protect our dear people, but sooner after, I mean a few seconds after, you realize that you're not so powerful as you thought to protect your family, so you find yourself impotent. I really like the moment in which you can see how discouraged Einar is. He can't even rely on someone to feel relieved just for a few seconds and say, oh, there's someone that can help me. No, he always had to count on his own existence, on his own life, and that's what Thorfinn did actually in season 1. He couldn't rely on Askeladd, he couldn't rely on Bjorn, he couldn't rely on anyone who was there with him. He could rely on Leif when he found Thorfinn at the end of season 1, but Thorfinn was still stuck into this path of revenge. So we don't know what happened to Thorfinn after Askeladd's death. We don't know that period of time in which he had to stay by himself alone. Maybe it will be explained later, okay, during this second season. But definitely we know that both, I mean, Einar and Thorfinn were completely alone, and they had to find a way to go on living, to survive. While Thorfinn had a goal after he lost his dad, that means to kill Askeladd, Einar didn't have any sort of goal. I mean, maybe the only goal he had was to keep going on living and survive, but he didn't have such a goal, a specific goal like Thorfinn. Look, I have to survive because my goal, my final goal is to kill him. No, in Einar's case, he was just living the day and wait until a master was coming to pick him up. Even if he tried to escape, we know that he couldn't escape. While Thorfinn actually had that chance to escape, you know? I mean, Askeladd or Askeladd, call him as you like, he didn't give him this order to stay with him and to keep going on, and he didn't chain him. Thorfinn chained himself in this path, you know? While Einar didn't have a way to escape. I mean, if Thorfinn could have seen his life in a different way, and he would have skipped these vengeful thoughts, he could have gone back to Iceland. He could have go back to his family. He could have taken care of his mom and sister. But at that time, how could he do that? He was too little. He was just a boy. While Einar was a man when all this happened. I'm referring myself to when to the moment in which Einar lost his mom and sister, not when he lost his dad. Even if he lost his dad when he was little, Einar decided to pay attention on his family instead. Thorfinn had this chance, but he couldn't see that. He couldn't see how much free he was, because he was confined into those revengeful thoughts. Both Thorfinn and Einar are two great characters. I expect so much from Einar right now. I mean, I expect that by telling Thorfinn his experience, Thorfinn will try to find a way to change, because nothing can stay forever. I remember these words from Askeladd too. I don't remember if it was episode 10 or 11. Yeah, maybe episode 11, when Askeladd, he is talking to Thorfinn and he's saying that nothing lasts forever. So even those painful thoughts, these revenge, this missed revenge, this lost opportunity that Thorfinn had to kill him, sooner or later those thoughts will fade away. They will change the way they are. So even these thoughts can be changed into something different, because when the time goes by, even the anger decreases, even these revengeful thoughts decrease. And when the time goes by, you don't think the same as before. Even if for you it's impossible to believe it at the beginning, but as soon as the time goes by, you acquire these knowledge, you acquire these experience in which you understand that nothing lasts forever. It doesn't matter if it's a friendship, it doesn't matter if it's a love, it doesn't matter if it's your family, because even your family can't last forever, right? Right now that he was in the middle of the forest and probably he had the time to think, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I want to see the evolution of these two characters, that maybe if they put themselves together, they can find something great, and they can share experiences, they can maybe at the beginning Thorfinn will be reluctant. I mean, I don't think that Thorfinn will change so much from the beginning. It has to be done little by little. And I think that even Einar will change little by little. As soon as Einar will understand that Thorfinn was part of Vikings too for a period of time, I mean for a long period of his life, probably Einar will not respect him quite a lot, because those are the same people who destroyed his family, his environment. So it's perfectly understandable. But I think that by seeing Einar's reaction, even Thorfinn will understand him, because actually Viking took his father away from him too. So they have something in common, and they will definitely share things together. I can't wait to see how this goes on, because from the beginning of this episode I could understand that no matter the violence involved here, I really think that this season 2 of Vinland Saga will be more psychological. I mean, we will go deep inside their thoughts. We will see how they change, psychologically speaking. More than the action part, we will find the psychology. I mean, we will find the way of a change of these two characters, so I can't wait. By the way, yeah, we could see even Leif. Leif promised to Thorfinn's mother that no matter how many years would it take, he would have tried his best to find Thorfinn. And even if he found him, then they separated their ways, because Thorfinn was still stubborn. And he didn't want to join Leif anymore, even after what happened to Askeladd. Also because Leif left, right? And then Askeladd died after, but Leif doesn't want to give up. Leif knows that Thorfinn is still alive, and he will try his best to find him. And I really love this character, because you know that Leif was supposed to be the one and only who reached Vinland. From his narrative, he was the one, from his stories, I mean from his fairy tales, he was the one who really reached Vinland. We needed to rely on him somehow. Thorfinn will meet him again. And thanks to Einar, maybe Einar is going to tell him, look, is there an old man trying to find you or something? Because I saw him. Actually, we could see Einar's reaction when the master told him that his name was Thorfinn. He was like, oh. But at the same time, I definitely agree with what Einar said. When Leif left, Einar thought, wow, that man, I mean that young boy he's searching for, that boy is so lucky, because he still has someone who's searching for him. And I totally agree with this. We don't understand how lucky we are when we still have someone in our life that keeps caring of us, that keeps searching for us, that wants to talk to us, that wants to take care of us, that wants to love us. We don't understand right now how lucky we are. We understand this later, when it's too late, when we lose our dear people and we find ourselves completely lonely. I don't know if Thorfinn still has in his mind his mother and his sister, but he should think about them, because Thors would have never accepted this. I mean, Thors would have liked Thorfinn to take care of them, would have liked to become the man of the family, because Thors is no more there with him. So he wanted something else for Thorfinn, we know, especially the main statement that he made, in which he's saying, you don't have enemies, you have no enemies, no one has enemies. The other great statement that Thor said, warriors don't need a sword. And that's why I really hope that Thorfinn still wants to be a warrior, but a different one, without a sword. And at the same time, I hope Thorfinn understands or tells Einar these. They were quite inspirational, and I think that now more than ever, Thorfinn understands the sentence, you have no enemies, because at the end of the day, when these enemies are gone, let's say, what did you do with your life? You tried to catch these enemy, but once he or she is gone, well, what do you do? So even this is really important, and I think Einar will feel angry towards Thorfinn at the beginning if Thorfinn tells him that he was part of the Vikings for a long period of time. But I think that in that moment Thorfinn should say, look, you have no enemies, also because Thorfinn has never done anything wrong to his family. I think. I mean, he can explain to him that by not being involved in anything that happened to his family, why do they have to be enemies just because he was a part of the Vikings for a period of time? I really hope that Thorfinn is going to explain his life, what he went through, as much as Einar. I hope that they share their story, because only by sharing, only by talking, you can you can demolish all of these shields, all these barriers that you usually put in front of yourself. This is pretty realistic, right? Especially nowadays. We have so many conflicts, so many wars around the world, and usually we put some prejudices. We put these barriers in front of people instead of talking, instead of trying to understand what's wrong, try to solve these problems. It would be so easy if you think about it, but it's not when it's involved power, when it's involved money, when it's involved these materialistic things that are completely making people blind. They can make people turn into something that you don't even recognize. The loss of humanity, yeah, we had this example even with King Sweyn in the previous season, when you could see that he himself said that when you put the crown on top of your head, things change. Things are not the same as before. You are not the same as before, because the power is surrounding you, is tempting you, and you can't get rid of it. Even if you try to push it away, you want it. There's this desire that can be, and I agree with this. I completely agree with this. All these subjects involved in this story are realistic, but at the same time they are pretty deep, and I can't wait to go ahead with this too. I wanna praise Mappa Studio because they decided to keep the music, some of the music of Vinland Saga Season 1. Even these symbols that you see throughout the episode. They are quite effective. And yeah, I remember one scene when you could see these red flowers when Einar's mother and sister were about to be killed. And of course, these red flowers can mean quite a lot. It's just for a little second that you see these flowers, but you know that Mappa comes from stories like Shingeki no Kyojin. I mean, stories that they are so meaningful. And I don't know if these flowers can be seen in the manga too. Leave me a comment to tell me if in the manga this is present. I mean, this symbolism is there or not, or it's more effective maybe in anime, because in anime you even have these colors that can help you to get the message. The only thing that I don't understand is the voice at the beginning of the episode. I don't know who that person is. I don't know what's the goal of that person. Because he keeps saying carved in my skin, carved in this, carved in that. I mean, are we talking about a descendants? Are we talking about something that goes on and on and on, generation after generation? Are we talking about the identity of this person that made him become what he is based on what he experienced? Are we talking about Danish people? Because yeah, from the language I could tell that it could be Denmark, because I mean I could hear some influences from German language. So I don't know, but I want to understand what that is. Of course, don't write me any spoilers in the comments, because I don't want to know. I mean, I want to discover by myself everything. Yeah, it was pretty interesting as for the beginning of this story. Then I don't know. We'll see later. Okay, guys, I think that I told you everything that I needed to say. In the case I have something to say extra, I will put all my other thoughts after these analyses. Maybe the only thing that I didn't say is this hierarchy, that it's pretty detailed in these episodes. I mean, when you see that someone is always on top of some others, it could be the master that decided Einar to join him. It could be even these Vikings that are making these people slaves because of their conquering paths. This is pretty unfair. I mean, I could detect from these episodes the unfairness of all these things. When you say, you work for me, you are my slave, I own you. This is something that I can't stand. I mean, I really can't stand, because why there are these differences? Always based on power, right? I mean, it's always that the point. People who believe to have power, they believe they can overcome on others. They can stand on top of others. If there would have not been power, or if there would have not been money, would have been all equal, if you think about it. Even in this episode, you understand that this is not possible, and this is creating unfairness, and this unfairness is creating anger, and this anger is creating revenge, and revenge is creating never-ending thoughts about this. I mean, it's all a cycle that keeps reproducing over and over again. So the reason why I like Vinland Saga is because, yeah, I can find most of the subjects that I found even in Shingeki no Kyojin. And they are two different stories, but they are telling you more or less the same things. And wow, this will be a long journey, so be prepared. We're going to stay together with this story for a little bit of time. So stay tuned and keep on watching me. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you for watching this long video. But look, it doesn't matter how much it takes to me. I really want to talk about this story in details. I want to think more. I mean, I want to explore and to dig deep inside this story because it really deserves. And let's see what happens next. See you next time with episode 2 of season 2 of Vinland Saga. In the meantime, thank you so much for the support. Keep subscribing to the channel and click on the notification bell. And see you next time with another video here on Our Eyes Your Eyes. See you next time. Bye bye.